Another in the airborne aerial series. Quite a windy day today, probably 10-15 miles an hour, so I shall be using some kites and putting up a 80-metre delta loop aerial. Right, I'm just putting up a little delta. It just gives me the wind direction and also gives me a feel for what sort of wind we've got here. It's a little bit skittish, but okay. It's a little bit blustery as well. So I think maybe I shall use a sled kite to this sort of blustery wind. It seems to have steadied out. It should start to come there. Yeah, a sled kite I think is the order of the day. I'm going to use the 500-pound breaking strain electric fencing with ribbon feed, mainly because I don't want to lose my kites, and secondly because it will show up rather better on the video. So I'm going to peg this out in the form of a loop, starting at the point and making sure the base of the aerial is at 90 degrees to the wind direction. Okay, that's the delta loop pegged out on the ground, and now I shall go and attach the flying lines to each corner. Right, this is the right hand flying line, in line with the side of the aerial at the moment, but in order to keep the base stretched out, I'm going to spread the flying line out at a much greater angle than the point of the aerial. So I'm bringing it well out to stretch the bottom of the loop, and I shall do the same the other side. The flying line is attached to a stake which is about 2'6" long, driven into the ground at an angle with a rubber bungee on it, and you'll notice that the loop of the flying line is also looped over the back of the stake just in case anything breaks. So I'm now going to do the other side exactly the same. The left hand flying line exactly the same. I'm going to take about 100 feet off so that when the thing's in the air, the base of the aerial is about 60 feet up, and I'm taking it over at an angle in order to keep the base of that aerial flat. So I'm just running backwards to the stake that I've already got in the ground. Same procedure with the rubber bungee. Right, the next step is to bring the car over, get the ballon and attach the ballon to the feeder before I put the aerial in the air, because once this thing gets in the air with this amount of wire and this amount of wind, the static build-up is going to be quite heavy. So you want the thing earthed before you get it flying, otherwise you will get a very hefty belt off of it. I speak from experience. Right, so that's the ballon attached and the coax attached to the matching unit, which is safely earthed. So I can now proceed to get the kite and lift the aerial into the air. Yeah, what I'm doing here is actually a 7-foot delta with about a 40-foot leader and a 20-foot delta also on about a 40-foot leader. The smaller delta will help to stabilise the bigger one, so I'm stacking a pair of deltas. Okay, there's the first one in the air, and I shall just turn round and pull the other one into the air with it, the 20 foot. In fact, it's trying to... There's the big one. I've just got it, I'm just holding on to it for a minute to get some pictures with the smaller one above it. So I'm just going to let her go, and she should take the aerial nicely into the air, which it's obviously doing, and away she goes. Yeah, that's just about perfect. Let's have a look at the loop in a moment. Right, we've been up there for about an hour and a half, couple of hours at least, and I'm afraid it's been up and down a couple of times. The wind is dying off now, so the next time it comes down is going to be the end of it, but it's been a good couple of hours of interesting contacts. Very powerful loop, very useful, getting 40 and 60 over 9 from the north and south, and even from Swansea 30 over 9, so it's obviously working quite well. This ends the Delta Loop series, and it's appropriate that it's a lovely afternoon, beautiful sunny afternoon to finish off with. So this is the end of the Delta Loop series.